You are live, it says. So, welcome to Exploitation Reviews and me, Rob. And today, similar to last time I did this, I thought I would chat a little bit about movies, exploitation movies, at least that I've bought in the past couple of weeks, well, bought and watched. And if you have any questions, you want to say hi, whatever, drop me a note in the chat. And here we go. Oh, and here we go. Someone is here. So, hello, Merlin. Oh, yes, Merlin, longtime viewer. Thank you for showing up. Good morning, evening. Well, it's the evening here in Germany. It's 10:30 at night. I made it pretty late in hopes that some Americans, would have a chance, or wherever you are right now, Merlin. If I remember correctly, you're in Asia last time we talked over on the Horror Geeks channel. So let's get to it. So there's a great used DVD Blu-ray store in Dortmund that I go to pretty often and buy crazy movies just to check them out. Sometimes you find gems, most of the time it's crap, but we know how that goes if we're interested in cult and B and exploitation films. But sometimes there are those gems. Beautiful downtown Asia. Very good, Merlin. Beautiful downtown Asia. So let's see. Well, this first one I actually got a while ago, and I forgot to talk about it last time, but I picked up a Blu-ray of The Suckling. I actually covered this on my channel a while back, and I highly recommend watching this movie. It is so much fun. I was really impressed by this one. I hadn't seen it until pretty recently, and I'm really glad that I found it. You can check out my review if you want to know more about it, but the basic idea is it's aborted baby who falls into a sewer, comes into contact with nuclear waste, mutates, gets revenge. Super awesome, totally bonkers. Love it, love it, love it. The Suckling. Definitely check out The Suckling. If you've seen it, let me know what you think of it. Oh, and similar to last time, I am prepared with a little bit of bourbon, so you have to excuse me every once and again. Right. What else do we got? What is this? Night of Something Strange. Well, I didn't like this one, but I do think there's an audience for that, or for this. This is a gross out horror film. Like, it's really gross, Night of Something Strange. If you like gross out humor, it might be exactly your thing. It's pretty well made, pretty well acted. I don't have any complaints on it, aside from the fact that I don't really like gross out humor. I mean, I like trauma. I cover a lot of trauma movies on my channel, but with trauma, they do go a little too gross for me sometimes, but with trauma, it's so zany and there's this sort of cartoonishness to the gross out humor that it hits for me. And this one, in Night of Something Strange, it's not zany and cartoony. It is just gross. So, I don't know how much I can even talk about it here on YouTube, but the basic idea is a guy has his way with a corpse, and he gets an STD, like a zombie STD, and he wants to spread it to other people, which he does, and then they become zombie types who want to spread, whatever. And the whole thing is just disgusting. And some people, I'm sure, will love it. If that sounds at all interesting, definitely check it out. It's, well made. I don't have any complaints other than, like I said, this kind of humor doesn't really hit with me so well. I prefer zany if it's going to be gross. Right. All right, well, now we're on to the DVDs. I didn't pick up too many Blu-rays, mostly because I guess Blu-rays typically are newer movies, which I'm not really into newer movies so much. Not really. I prefer old stuff. I'm sure that's a big shock to all of you. Oh, the next one. You probably know this one, Meet the Feebles. This is a Peter Jackson film. I actually didn't get this at the used shop. I got this, my neighborhood had like a yard sale. A lot of the people around had, were selling like garage sales and stuff. And one of my neighbors actually had this. The other DVDs he had in his box he was selling were garbage, like Tom Cruise stuff. I mean, I like Tom Cruise, okay, but it's like that kind of stuff. So I was really surprised to see this there, and then I looked through to see if there's anything else, but no, it's a bunch of crap. But Meet the Feebles he gave it to me for I think €1, maybe it was 2. If you haven't seen this, this is it's the Muppet Show for adults. So it's if you like the Muppet Show, which you should, because the Muppet Show is awesome. Yeah, but you wished the Muppets were involved in organized crime and backstabbing and murder and cheating on each other, then Meet the Feebles, that's your jam right there. And it is pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know if I really like it though, but it's definitely worth watching once just because of just how bizarre this thing is. Just completely bizarre. And actually, I find Peter Jackson sort of interesting. Like, I mean, how did that happen? Like, how did he make Dead Alive, Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, and then go to Hollywood, made The Frighteners, Michael J. Fox, which is great. And maybe there was one more in there, I'm forgetting, 1 or 2. And then they give him $1 billion to make The Lord of the Rings. That's amazing. Like, how do you go from Meet the Feebles and Dead Alive to The Frighteners to Lord of the Rings? Like, it's incredible. So kudos for him. That's totally awesome. Meet the Feebles, not my favorite Peter Jackson films. I don't know. You might like it though. Cheers. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Merlin says Heavenly Creatures. That's right. There was another one. I don't remember. Did he do that before or after The Frighteners? I don't remember. But yeah, Heavenly Creatures was another studio film that he did. Yeah. So yeah, with like Heavenly Creatures and Frighteners plus his independent stuff, he makes Lord of the Rings pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. The next one, perhaps the greatest find I've had at that store yet. I found a 2-disc set of Carnival of Souls. If you don't know this thing, this is from the 1960s, super low budget, I think 1962, super low budget kind of horror film, mystery horror maybe. It feels a lot like an episode of The Twilight Zone and has that kind of, like the creepier episodes of The Twilight Zone. It has that kind of vibe. Yeah, this thing is just pure atmosphere, really cool. The story is a woman is in a car accident. She's the only survivor. And then she feels sort of disconnected from people. And she's sort of haunted by this spirit. And she's sort of drawn to this abandoned carnival. Really cool movie. I'm quite a big fan of it, actually. It's not like a great movie, but it's just really impressive on just no budget, how just good writing and some good camera angles and some cool organ music can make for a really effective film. And I bet, I don't know this for sure, I should know this, but I bet that this film inspired to a certain extent the zombies in Romero's Night of the Living Dead. They look kind of similar here. Well, they have some of them on the back. They look a little similar. Yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, the 2 disc, 1 disc is the theatrical cut. One disc is a director's cut, which is only like 3 minutes longer, but tons of special features and stuff too. So yeah, 2-disc Carnival of Souls. And it says here it's code free, so this might be worth tracking down if you like this movie, but maybe you have a better version of it anyway. Could be. Yeah, Carnival of Souls, pretty awesome. Pretty cool. Oh, Braylon says it was before. Very good. Right. What else? Well, okay. This barely counts as an exploitation film, but it is a low-budget creature feature, so I had to pick up the Critters collection, 1 through 4. I loved these when I was a kid, at least the first 2. So I was excited to watch them again. I don't think I had seen them since I rented them on VHS when they first came out on VHS, like way back in the 80s. So it's cool to watch them again. And they're just as fun as I remember. The first one's fun. The second one I think I like even more. That was cool. The third one, I watched that just the other day. I wanted to like it. It has a very young Leonardo DiCaprio in it, which was pretty cool. But yeah, the movie is really dark. Like it mostly takes place at an apartment building, and at a certain point, the landlord of the apartment building like turns off the power, and then the movie's like really dark, which is not what I want from a Critters movie. I want bright, well-lit critters so I can see them chewing on people. I mean, that's why you watch a Critters movie, not to see like shadows rolling around the dark. That sucks. The fourth one I haven't seen yet. I hear it takes place in space, which normally when a horror franchise moves into space, that's not good news. But in this case, I'm a little optimistic because the critters are aliens, so it makes sense that they would be in space at some point. But yeah, it's probably terrible. I don't know. If you've seen it, you like it, let me know. I'll probably check it out very soon. But yeah, the first 2 I do still like. Third one, too dark. Fourth one, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, Critters, blast from the past, my childhood, right there. Okay, now we're getting into crazier stuff. I saw this thing, Snake Club, starring, I believe, a Penthouse model, Veronica Ricci. And I was going to pass on it, but then I saw this thing, Bloody Mary, also starring Penthouse model Veronica Ricci. And I thought, well, if she's in 2 movies and they're not even by the same director, maybe there's something to her work. So let's just get them both, see what's going on. And then, in the opening credits were rolling on this one. I watched Snake Club first. I saw it was edited by Mark Polonio. I was like, oh no, I made a terrible choice. If you don't know who that is, yeah, he's not known for his high quality work, but he was just the editor. So I kept watching. And this Snake Club actually has a pretty good beginning. The main creature in it is what is it, a lamia? It's like the Greek like snake woman thing, which is cool because I don't think I've seen a horror film with that as the monster before. So that was cool. I was into it. And the setup was fine. Like a guy steals a statue and he gets blood on it, which awakens like the lamia spirit, and then the spirit possesses the Veronica Ricci, and then the movie just falls apart. It's the whole thing takes place in a strip club, except it's not. It's not like it's just not. It's a garage. I think you can even see like the hot water heater in the corner, and there's a pole, and they're supposed to be doing like some pole dancing, but they don't know what they're doing. Maybe it wasn't safe to use the pole, so that's why they couldn't really do anything. And it's just so ridiculous. And then even though they're not even doing any pole dancing, the other characters are like, oh, she's so good at that. Like, no, she's not. This is not what a strip club looks like. That's not what pole dancing look like. This is terrible. Yeah, so here it just, the act two is hard to write. Like, I know it's hard to write. I've written lots of stories and whatever. I know that act two is hard. But yeah, you got to do better than this, because this thing just falls apart and it starts to meander, and the dialogue is terrible. The dialogue at the beginning is pretty funny. So I had high hopes for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then everything just fell apart. It was terrible. Don't recommend that one, but it did have a pretty good opening, say 15 minutes. I was excited, and then it lost me. What's Marilyn saying here? Critters 4 has an interesting cast, but it's not great. Okay, well, I'm not surprised to hear that, actually, that it's not great. Yeah, isn't, I think I remember that. Isn't like Angela Bassett in Critters 4? Yeah, I think maybe. Yeah, but yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Maybe it'll be okay. Probably not, though. Probably not. All right, and then this one, the other one, Bloody Mary. This one's maybe worse than the Snake Club, maybe. Although it does have a very good opening. Yeah, the opening is, I don't know if I can even tell you on YouTube what the opening is, but it's, there are no clothes at all. And it's two women having a pretty good time. And that's filmed pretty well, actually. And then after that, it gets pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Again, just horrible writing. The people that write these things, both these things, they don't know how to write screenplays. Yeah, at all. Maybe they don't have screenplays. Maybe they just go and like shoot and make it up as they go. I would believe that, actually. If that's how they do it, then I would understand. I hope nobody actually sat down at a computer and like wrote these things, because they don't know how to do it, and they should definitely stop doing it. Definitely. Or at least watch a few YouTube videos on like 3-act structure, please. That would be nice. Merlin says, yes, I think that's probably to my Angela Bassett memory. So, okay, that's cool. And then, but lots of padding. Oh, okay. Yeah, padding, I hate. Yeah, that's these too, both of these things. It's just, after the setup, it's nothing but padding. It's just inane conversations that don't move the plot forward. Yeah, just really horrible. Horrible. It's horrible. I'm done talking about these movies. I would definitely get rid of them as soon as possible. I've got like a stack now of like terrible things I need to sell. So they'll be on that pile. Oh, and we have someone new. We have Lone Prepper here. Every evening, everyone. Evening. Thanks for joining us. Right, just going through some recent DVD and Blu-ray purchases and talking about those a bit. Right. Oh, and the last one of recent buys is this. It's actually a pretty nice steelbook. I like steelbooks. Unfortunately, the movie, Black Sheep, I didn't like this. I know people do like this, which is why I got it, because I had heard that people like it. And I will say that the effects on this are pretty solid. The creature effects are cool, some good gore. Yeah, good gore to a certain extent. But where it lost me was the jokes, like the humor, I thought was terrible. I didn't think anything in here was funny at all. Just really tired, cliche jokes. Did nothing for me at all. I didn't like the characters. No, I didn't like anything about the movie actually, except the creature effects. There's like a were sheep thing at some point, which is pretty cool. But yeah, not for me. Not for me at all. But I know that it has its fans. So it's similar to the first film I talked about, Night of Something Strange. I know this has its fans, so check it out. You might be one of them. And I know Black Sheep has its fans as well. So that might be worth checking out if it sounds cool, like a were sheep with some silly like sheep jokes. If that sounds like your thing, it's probably awesome. It's not my thing though, at all. So, I arrived late. What was the snake film? The snake film was a snake club starring penthouse model Veronica Ricci. And good beginning, cool idea. I was excited, and then it got terrible. That was a snake thing. Don't recommend it. Right. So how about you guys? Got a couple people in the chat. Seen anything good recently? Any recommendations for low budget exploitation films? That's all I got to talk about. But if you have any tips or any questions, we can chat. Oh, we got another one. Hey, everyone. Hey, Adrian. I hope I pronounced that right. I've chatted with you in the comments before, but I've never said your name out loud before. It's good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Right. So, but that's the end of going through my movies. So, the ones I recommend from my recent purchases, definitely Carnival Souls. It's awesome. Check that down. It's probably on YouTube or something. It's like an independent film from the 1960s. You could probably find it on YouTube. But if you want some special features and interviews and stuff, this two-disc set is cool. It's got making of, outtakes, some of the films that the director did before, like some short films, or he did like some industrial films, audio commentary. So yeah, this is a great set. I can recommend that one. Obviously, I recommend The Suckling. Love that movie. Check out that monster. Isn't that cool? Suckling's awesome. I covered it on my channel already, so you can watch that for more details. And that's it. That's all I really recommend. Or, Critters for fun nostalgia. Critters is fun. But the other ones, so I think most of these will probably go back because they're pretty terrible. Let's see. I didn't like Black Sheep, but I love Bad Taste, and Meet the Feebles is awesome. Yeah, I agree. I don't like Black Sheep, but yeah, I love Bad Taste too. Meet the Feebles, it's so weird. I did have fun watching it, but it's so bizarre and out there. Oh yeah, but yeah, it is fun. Yeah, Meet the Feebles, definitely worth checking out. And then I picked up one of the Avon Dynasty Collection DVD sets. I don't know what that is. What is Avon Dynasty? I don't know what that is. Let me know in the comments. Merlin, I like Carnival of Souls. I love the look of the film. Yeah, me too. The look is super cool. Like some really great cinematography. Yeah, great. It's got a feel to it that a lot of big budget films of the time didn't have. Absolutely. Yeah, it's got a really cool feel. I dig like the whole vibe of that movie, as my daughter would say. Yeah, Carnival of Souls, really cool. So, I mean, I compared it to the Twilight Zone, which I think is a pretty good comparison, but I don't want to give the idea that it has like a big sort of surprising twist ending. Maybe they wanted it to have a surprising twist ending, but I didn't think the ending was surprising or twisty at all. I thought it was pretty clear the whole time what was going on, but it didn't detract from the film at all. I still thought it was awesome. I've never watched Carnival of Souls, but the double disc sounds great. It is, yeah, it's pretty cool. I watched the director's cut, and the picture quality is pretty good. I mean, I was a little worried from like the disc looks like I don't know what this company is that put it out in, well, it's in German, in exclusive, what's that word in English? Partnership with MIB, but I don't know that company. So yeah, I was a little hesitant because sometimes like you find like here in Europe, anyway, you find like old movies that they'll put out, but it's like a VHS rip or just terrible quality. And that happens sometimes. I think they're probably bootlegs of some sort, but especially, if you're digging around in some giant used DVD store, you find stuff like that on occasion. But this was not that. This is actually like cool special features. It looked good. It sounded good. I mean, it sounded as good as it could because this is a really low budget movie and they didn't have great audio equipment. They didn't do good like ADR or any of that. So, but that's fine. It's that's what it is. It's a super low budget movie. Knowing the twist in Carnival actually makes it a bit sad and poignant. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It is kind of a sad film, kind of scary. Like if you realize, so I think it's if you didn't get the twist right away, it's good to just watch it again, and then yeah, you'll have exactly the feeling that Merlin is talking about here. It is a pretty sad movie at that point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is a good way to put it. I've not watched them, but by the look of it, it's 1970s adult grindhouse features. Oh, are you talking about the Avon thing? Oh, that would be cool. Like 70s grindhouse stuff is great. Yeah. So yeah. Do you know any of the titles that are on there? Any of them sound familiar? There are a few, like I've been trying to find some of them, but I'll probably just import them at some point. But there are a few like collections. There's like the one of them is called like the Drive-In Cult Collection or something, which is like 250 movies on, I don't know, they cram them onto like 50 DVDs or something. And there's some other ones too. And then there's one, I think there's like the Drive-In Cult Classics. Oh yeah, that's one, Drive-In Cult Classics. I think that has like different volumes. And I've been thinking about trying to find those, but they were never released in Europe, as far as I know. And I don't have a region-free Blu-ray player. Well, I do, it's just not hooked up. But yeah, I've been thinking about getting some of those sets. There's a few of them floating around of like just tons of old drive-in and grindhouse films. So yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, from the 70s. I mean, there's so much great grindhouse stuff in the 70s, like I Drink Your Blood, and yeah, awesome stuff. Potentially awesome stuff. Yeah, I Spit on Your Grave and whatever. Although that's probably not on a collection, since that's like a pretty well-known movie at this point, I think. Right. So I'm out of movies, so I think I will say goodbye, unless any final thoughts, any final recommendations, any final questions. Lone Prepper says Mill Creek DVD sets. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I don't know that, but yeah, I've seen a few of these DVD sets floating around. I've got lots of them. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Cool. And then Merlin says, I wish I had some more recent titles I could see, but being where I am, it's a little hard to see any. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of my problem too. Sometimes in Europe is, I was just talking about my wife about this the other day. Actually, is so she likes at least the history and some of the films in like the blaxploitation decade, the 70s blaxploitation films. And I do too. I really like blaxploitation films. I've covered plenty of them on my channel, so it's probably not a surprise. You would not believe how hard it is to find those on DVD in Europe. They're just never released here. At least not many of them. Yeah, like my copy of Superfly, I just finally just gave up and imported from the States. And then I had an old laptop from the States that had an American DVD drive. So I ripped it so I could watch it. And then like my copy of Black Caesar is from Spain. And yeah, I don't know where my copy of Shaft is from. Like, that's it. Just some of these titles will show up like in some European market, but yeah, they were never really big here. They're old movies anyway. Yeah, pretty hard to find that stuff in Europe, which kind of sucks. Oh, Adrian wants to know, what am I drinking? This is a bottom shelf bourbon right here. And it's actually quite lovely. At the my local grocery store, which in Germany is called the Reva, they have this Seven Oaks bourbon whiskey. Really cheap, but it's surprisingly good. Because it's actually, that's not going to focus. Is it going to focus? It's made in America. That's the important part. So it's actually real bourbon. It's made in America, which is nice. So I have no idea how they sell it for so cheap. Tastes a little bit like Jim Beam. Not quite as spicy as Jim Beam. But yeah, it's quite good. I recommend it if you're in Europe and you go to a really cheap grocery store. Seven Oaks bourbon. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I mean, it's definitely not my favorite bourbon, but my favorite bourbon is a hell of a lot more than €9 a bottle. So I don't buy that too often. Yeah. Yeah, I don't actually, now that I think about it, I don't even really know what my favorite bourbon is. I do like the Jim Beam, like Double Oak. That's pretty good. Yeah, maybe that one. Maybe. Yeah, that at least has a good price quality balance. It's not overly expensive, but tastes great. What are you drinking? Or are you at work right now? Or maybe you guys aren't even drinkers. I don't know. Right. Well, I think this went better than the first time. 3 people showed up. Awesome. Yeah, talked about a few movies. Pretty good. Pretty good. Probably do these maybe like, I don't know, maybe like once a month. I think the last one I did was 3 weeks ago. That's maybe a bit too soon, but maybe like once a month would be fun. And yeah, now I have a community tab on the channel, which is cool. So I can announce these things ahead of time. And yeah, maybe that helps to get more people to come. Yeah, I was supposed to not get a community tab until 500 subscribers, which I'm not quite there yet. So I don't know why they gave it to me early. Maybe it's because I did a survey for YouTube the other day and complained about how crappy their algorithm is. And they're like, oh, we'll give him a community tab. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But yeah, so that's cool. We can announce these things earlier, get more people to come. Let's see what we got. Hello, thank you. I'm glad I was able to catch some of this. Very good. I think it'll be on the page on the channel later. I don't know. So I'm trying out this new this StreamYard. You can see the logo there, so that I can put comments over the video and stuff. I assume this will also record and I'll be able to keep it up on the channel. We'll see. We'll see. Once a month is fine. Yep, seems reasonable. I agree. At work, I'm just having a boozy coffee. Right, yeah. Gotta Irish up the coffee sometimes. Yep, understandable. All right, then I can make it on weekends. Yeah. I'll probably do weekends too, and probably try to do later in the evening. To give Americans a chance as well, because being in Europe, we live in the future, right? Like 6 hours ahead of New York or whatever. So if I did it like at 9 o'clock in the morning, all the Americans will be asleep. So that's not going to work. Right. So timing is kind of a problem. Lone Pepper once a month is good. Yep. Seems reasonable. I think I'll shoot for once a month. Right. Then hopefully I will see you in about a month, which will be, I don't know, sometime in December. Right. Then, one more comment from Merlin. I live in the far. That's right. Asia is in the far future. Right. So for you, it's what, like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Who knows? Yeah. Right. Well, thanks for coming, even though it's far in the future. And thank you to the rest of you as well. I will see you you can watch the normal videos on Monday. Otherwise, we can chat sometime next month. I'll make an announcement a week ahead of time or so. All right. Laters.